What is that one trick that they really don't want you to know? Serious. Speed limits. Many of them are arbitrarily set without an engineered speed study and are unenforceable as a result. This is very state specific. If you get a ticket, print out your state's laws on setting speed limits. Many of them have a maximum speed for different types of roads and then require an engineered speed study for lower posted limits. If the posted limit was set without an engineered speed study, it may be unenforceable and you can argue this in court. Essentially, the agency posting the sign may have broken the law, and you broke their law, but only because they broke the higher law first. Then go to your local road agency governing that stretch of road, city, county, state transportation dept, etc., and file a public records request for the engineered speed study on that road. They'll have to respond in writing if they don't have one. Chances are they won't have one. Take the law and their admission they don't have one with you to court and show the judge that the speed limit is unenforceable and that you were driving a reasonable and prudent speed, regardless of what was arbitrarily posted. Source: I'm the engineer for the road depth that would do said speed studies. And we don't do them because then we'd have to raise the speed limits and the politicians don't want us to. Most of the dulling that occurs with cartridge razor blades is not a result of shaving, but rather water being left to evaporate on the blades. I've been using the same cartridge for the past 8 months by running the blades upwards, that is, opposite the direction you would when shaving, on a towel 15 times after rinsing it off, then blowing on it for a few seconds. 8 months later this blade still barely pulls at all. Browse incognito to get past a paywall news website. Only works where you are allowed X articles per week. Incognito is the new stealing your neighbor's paper off his driveway and then throwing it in the trash. You can file a complaint with the FCC if a telecom company jerks you around, and you'll get the results you should have to begin with. I used this when a tant charged me local taxes and fees for a state I hadn't set foot in for 14 months. I painstakingly crafted a Google Doc of every single penny and called them and asked for a refund. They told me that they can't refund taxes and that there was no one I could escalate to, and offered me a one-time refund of $25. I filed a complaint with the FCC and a few days later got a voicemail from executive customer support asking for a callback. I didn't even bother and got another phone call where they told me they were calling about my letter to the FCC and refunded me every goddamn penny and fixed my account. A tant a lying ducking scum, but they're still the FCC's itch. The juror's right to nullify. It is our right to refuse unjust laws. If you want to cancel your hotel room last minute, but there's a cancellation fee, call and change your reservation to a few weeks later. Then call later and cancel it. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers are just melamine sponges. You can buy them like 10 for $1 on eBay. Anytime you order from Papa John's, use the promo code ARP25 and get 25% knocked off the subtotal. Works everywhere, every time. You don't have to do anything. Doing nothing is always an option. You're probably using too much laundry detergent, shampoo, and toothpaste each time you use them. Many stores have rules that prohibit employees from confronting someone they think to be a shoplifter. I've never shoplifted, but I had friends who took advantage of this. Don't do this, by the way. My friends eventually got arrested. Buying a car. Always do negotiating via email or phone and bounce offers back and forth against competing dealers. Will always get you the best possible deal. If you bought something at a store and it goes on sale afterward but the store says they do not do price adjustments, buy another one and then return it using the original receipt. You don't actually have to pay the asking price for entry in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in Nick. They make it seem like it's the price of admission, but it's really just a suggested donation. They make more money than they need from wealthy donors. When you go to pay admission, just give them $1. You are legally allowed to get a full refund for an airline ticket within 24 hours of purchase. Chipotle doesn't care about you trying to rip them off. Yes, we all know that the bowl gives you more and you can get extra of whatever you want. If you're slightly more committed, you can get a free water and fill it with soda, even though they now have a sign on the machine explicitly warning against it. Chipotle doesn't give a single it. They know you're doing it, and it's been accounted for in the book somewhere. What they do know is that if they let you think you're being sneaky, and you, particularly broke college kids, think that you're gaming the system and coming out ahead, you'll keep coming back again and again, even with responsibly sourced ingredients. The biggest cost is labor, especially when more than 50% of the meal is rice, beans, and tortilla. You could get a burrito the size of a baby, and it wouldn't make a dent in the budget compared to what it costs to have 10 people cook and serve that stuff to you. Edit. Yes, I know. Stealing is bad, MK. All the people saying that have completely missed the point. Pressing 0 loads of times during an automated phone robot will put you through to a human at customer services. Works for pretty much any company. You can almost always get a better price for a hotel by going directly to that hotel's website. Expedia, Hotwire, etc. are kind of pointless. Also, you can't get a refund from those sites and you will get the worst room available. Economy size is not always the best cost per weight volume use. You will also find some stores that print the cost per weight volume in different units for different sizes. Same size packages by weight or count may have a different number of servings, so check that as well. Off-name and store name brands are not always cheaper. They, at least partially, rely on the misconception that brand name goods are always more expensive to sell things at a higher price. Always check the actual price tag, even if the store brand is on sale. When buying a car, negotiate the price of the car, not the monthly payment. People are usually more concerned with what the monthly payment will be and are often ripped off. It's easy to do the math with an interest calculator if you have a roundabout idea of what your rate will be. Some things are never really on sale. When I worked at a grocery store, the name brand sodas had a very high regular price. Then there would always be a sale on them. The sale might change at times, but the sale price would always be there. The sale price is what the company really meant to charge you anyway. After all, who wants a case of soda for $8.99 if they can buy it at $5.99 and save $3? I have heard that some department stores do this with clothes and other items. A $90 dress that is on sale for $55 was never going to cost $90. Jury nullification. They literally don't want you to know this. They try to screen for it. Your children's teachers don't want to tell you that they can only fail a certain percentage of their roster. So your little snowflake who is dumb as a post and disruptive and always getting into trouble is being kicked down the road to the next teacher to deal with every year until they get the final kick across the stage to graduate so the school can have high graduation numbers. This makes the administrators look like they are competent. Most of them are not. The teachers look like they are amazing. Some of them still are. And the school look like it's great so everyone can keep their job. Get more cash next year and do the same to the next class. Source. Part of the system. Part of the problem. Several careers are totally or nearly totally unregulated in their qualifications. You can just call yourself a psychic, faith healer, nutritionist, pastor, minister, medium, DJ, or personal trainer and that's it. For some you'll be found out almost immediately by another professional, but since there's no licensing or required professional certification there isn't anything they can do about it. For some you can be proven a fraud repeatedly and never face any consequences, and might even solidify your clientele's loyalty with attempts by the man big pharma, Obama, liberals, conservatives, reverse vampires, whoever to stop you. If the second baseman comes back from a beating with the pitcher smiling, don't take your foot off the base. Grocery stores. Everything in a grocery store is pre-designed to take as much money from you as possible. The bread and milk will be in locations where you have to walk through or around the entire store to get both. The more expensive brands are at eye level. They pay for this privilege. Cereal box characters look downright at children, which connects at a psychological level to make them want more cereal. Checkout lines have candy bars at child reaching level intentionally. New floor designs are even consulting casinos to no longer have rows and be more maze-like to keep you in the store longer. Flyers mailed to you with your name and address are tailored based on your points card buying patterns. Good smells are intentionally pumped in to make you hungry. The list goes on. A really cheap way to fly to places that usually cost way more to get to is to buy a cheaper ticket to some other place, possibly with a different airline. That makes a connection in the airport you want to end up in. So you get off there and just don't get back onto the flight. Some dude got in trouble for making a website that helped people find those flights. You can't check bags though. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue if you really need to be somewhere for cheap. Chiropractors are not medical doctors. Some of them are great and are basically physical therapists. A large majority of them think that germ theory is a lie and that spinal adjustments can cure anything. People have even died after visits because the adjustment caused a tear in the wall of their arteries leading to stroke. Real estate agents who deal with rental properties get away with blue murder because they work on the assumption that you don't know what your rights are, or that you'll give them up too easily. Whatever country and state you live in, if you're renting your current residence, learn your rights and stick to them like glue. Ice in your drink at any place that doesn't offer refills is a total ripoff. Ask for half the normal amount or none at all. I tend to always get water and they still fill the glass with ice first. Trial by written declaration. It's listed on most ticket citations, however most people do not take advantage of this. An officer forced to show up for trial gets overtime. An officer forced to sit at a desk and write their side does not. If the officer does not respond, you get off scot-free. If they do and you lose, you can request a trial de novo and then show up in person. If you follow this full process and are polite and professional, even if guilty, you are quite possibly likely to receive a lesser fine sentence. I don't know if they don't want you to know about this, but here we go. If you're going to make a purchase with an online retailer, it's often worth putting the items in your cart, then leaving the site for a little while, because some sites will contact you with a special offer or discount code in an attempt to persuade you back into making that purchase you were going to make. Can save you a few bucks. It doesn't always work, but it's often worth attempting, especially with solely online retailers. Not a trick. Exactly, it's something that a fair amount of people don't know. You don't legally have to stop for the receipt checkers at stores, unless you are at a club store, that is, Sam's Club. That might require you to stop or they will revoke your membership. Signs that say not responsible for damage are usually put up by the very people who are responsible for damage. A $40 sign can nip a lot of lawsuits in the bud. Just because an industry, business, or person has decided to make money in a certain way, you are by no means obliged to do anything whatsoever in order to help them do so. You're not obliged to do anything the way salespeople want you to just because they decided they were going to make money on commissions or door-to-door sales. You're not obliged to read advertisements because advertisers decided to make money by sticking them in front of your face. You're not even obliged to answer the phone when someone calls you. This is what call screening and answering machines are for. You're not obliged to respond to attempted conversational gambits by anyone trying to sell you something. You're not even obliged to acknowledge their presence. Part of sales tactics is sucking people into conversations where they feel they have to be polite by responding to the salesperson, because who wants to be thought of as not polite? But all this does is sucker you deeper and deeper into conversations you don't want to have with people you don't know or don't like, who then try to guilt you into handing over your cash, time, attention, bandwidth, reputation, or any one of a number of things they can then use for their own purposes. Walmart flyers advertise what is for sale, not what is on sale. HDMI cables are all the same, no matter the cost. Lower your monthly mortgage payments by discontinuing your PMI, private mortgage insurance. If you bought a house with a down payment of less than 20%, your lender required you to buy PMI. Likewise, if you refinance with less than 20% equity, you also are paying for PMI. Once you get below 80% of equity owed, you can cancel your PMI or refinance without PMI. Make use of your loose change. You don't have to pay the 10% overhead charge from Coinsta if you select a gift card option. They will give you 100% of your money back. So just select an Amazon gift card and buy all the things you need around the house like toilet paper and towels at a better price than the grocery store. I collect about $100 of loose change a year and then just stock up on Amazon. The timer at the end of infomercials is meaningless. The deal will still be there when you call. Gift cards don't expire in some states even if it says they do. Little late, but surprised me all the same. At least in California. If you have a self-storage unit that you didn't pay and was sold at auction, like on Storage Wars and similar shows, you can go to the storage facility after the auction, and if they sold the unit for more than you owed, you are legally entitled to that extra amount. You only need a bead of toothpaste when brushing, and when you're sick only one Alka-Seltzer. The advertisements made you think you need more, so they'd sell more. Insurance agent here. Requote your insurance at least every 2 years. And if you get hurt in a car wreck, talk to your lawyer, not your agent. If you have ants that just won't go away, coming from a crack in the walls, or persistently through doors and windows, just mix a small blob of jelly with some borax and then the worker ants will grab it and bring it back to feed their queen. It kills the whole colony in a day or two, and they don't investigate the rest of your house since they are working overtime on the jelly. Many small or medium companies that ship goods with UPS or FedEx have very little knowledge of the buying power that they truly have. UPS and FedEx handle the majority of all small parcel shipments in America and are very willing to make adjustments in your rates if you prove yourself to be a consistent source of revenue. I started a logistics position for a considerably sized commercial printer about a year ago. We initially contacted FedEx to renegotiate our rates, and now we save about 50 cents per ground package. FedEx completely analyzed our small parcel and freight demands and offered rates that completely eliminated UPS as a competitor. Not a month later, UPS noticed the decline in local revenue that our change in carriers had caused and is now offering us next day rates that absolutely blow FedEx out of the water. I'd highly suggest researching the history of both FedEx and UPS. Definitely one of the more unnoticed rivalries in today's economic landscape. If you buy something second-hand, call into the manufacturer and try and register it. Some companies have extended warranties on some of their products. Source: found a Dyson on the side of the road. It was toast and the motor was smoking. Call Dyson for its and gigs. Registered it since the previous owner didn't. My downfall was that I told them I was given it and they don't transfer warranties. Thought I was out of luck and put it by the garbage. Got an email about the registration saying I'm the registered owner and have warranty till January. Called in again saying my unit is smoking. They booked a work order for the following day. $500 vacuum for free. TLDR: if you buy something second-hand, check with a manufacturer for registration. Might get free it. Edit. Words. Edit 2. Proofread when you're posting at 3 AM kids. Instead of ordering Junior Cheeseburger Deluxe, order a Junior Cheeseburger and ask for all the toppings. Toppings are free at Wendy's, so save several cents. If a sale is set to end at a specific time of the day, that is known as Black Friday. If the store is a national chain, their prices are programmed into the computer. Thus, sometimes the East Coast sales will continue until 3, because it hasn't yet been noon nationwide. I got great prices from Walmart the last few Black Fridays, even though I went in after the sales had supposedly ended, so there wasn't a big rush. Always ask them to ring the price of something before you agree to buy it though. Microwavable instant oatmeal is just regular old oatmeal that is chopped smaller so that the hot water will work faster. You could make the same packets with a blender. You don't have to turn your leased vehicle back to the dealer at the end of the lease. Our buyout for our last leased car was $14K. We took it to CarMax and they offered $15K. Then I took it to a local place that advertised that they beat CarMax. They asked if I had a CarMax estimate, as I'm sure they just typically add maybe $100, $200 on top of any CarMax offer. I said not yet. I hate that place and wanted to just bring it into you guys first and hopefully avoid CarMax. They offered $15,900. Sold it to them on the spot and made $1,900 on a leased car. The jewelry counter in Walmart can ring up your groceries just fine and they never have a line. I've definitely saved myself waiting in 40-minute lines. You really do have the right to remain silent, and you should use it. The store cost of any product is in plain sight on all Walgreens products shelf labels. The Walgreens product cost code word is BrushClean, where each letter is associated with a number. BRUSHCLEAN 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. You will see a combination of these letters on every label. For example, HUA equals a product cost of $5.38. I have seen similar tactic on other store labels but do not know what word they use as the code. The FDCPA is really helpful if you can't pay your credit cards.